Great moments are born from great opportunity. And that's what you have here tonight, boys.
I'm talking about we're beaten.
We're not beaten.
I'm not beaten. We're in this game. Anybody here tired?
No.
Sonny,
Not tired.
Holt,
I'm just warming up, Sheriff.
Connor,
I'm ready, John.
Bertie, you with us?
Yep.
Good. Because the Rangers are starting to breathe through their mouths. The strides are getting shorter. Do not give these guys too much respect. They didn't pull a dog sled, did they?
No.
Didn't skate the river, did they?
No.
This is our pond.
Now Cameron Hughes gets the ran over the line. Clean pass for Morrison across. The shot, they score! Ryan Winterton and the Firebirds take the lead. 6:08 to go in the first period. Logan Morrison right up the tape for Winterton. And Coachella Valley out in front for the first time in the series.
You know they just want you to bleed, right? I'm here to do whatever they need me to do. You know, if they need me to bleed, then I'll bleed for my team.
Let's go. Pretty boy. Let's go.
Introduce yourself.
Jim.
My name's also Jim.
Problem solved.
Thanks, James.
Now, as far as serving the tendy goes, if they're shooting, you're getting your body in front of it. Everybody blocking shots. All you useless guys, blocking shots, bugging Appledorns. Now everybody knows the role. Eh, Sanguinet?
Everyone knows the role. Everyone does their job.
Yeah, so.
For Parsonen, McCormick tries to jam it loose in front, comes to Del Gaizo, pass broken up, John Hayden coming in shorthanded, looking for the hat trick, Hayden's in, he scores! John Hayden, a shorthanded goal, the hat trick for Haynes, 1:57 left in the second period, and it's 5-1 Coachella Valley.
I want to win that championship tonight, but I want to win it clean. Old-time hockey. Like when I got started, you know? Jeez, Toe Blake, Dick Clapper, Eddie Shore, those guys were the greats.
Reg is our coach.
Yeah, sure, old-time hockey. Like Eddie Shore.
Yeah. Coach, our line starts.
Sure.
You were born to be hockey players. Every one of you. And you were meant to be here tonight. This is your time.
Greetings, friends, and Firebirds fans, and welcome to the Fire and Ice podcast presented by Desert Willow Golf Resort. Fire and Ice, the official podcast of your Coachella Valley Firebirds of the American Hockey League, or may I editorialize, your two-time defending Western Conference champion, Coachella Valley Firebirds of the AHL. Coming to you from Palm Desert, California, a mere Ryan Winterton hair flip away from the Birds' home ice of Acrisure Arena. I'm your host, Judd Spicer. Along with this bi-monthly podcast endeavor, also again have the pleasure and the privilege of serving as your Firebirds Insider. Those articles, those Firebirds Insider articles, most recent of which, by the way, came out a couple days back, profile of rookie forward Edward Chalet. Those articles may be found online, as with all things Coachella Valley Firebirds, at cvfirebirds.com. That's your hockey home and your hub for everything from tickets, merchandise information, community, roster, staff. Also, the way you're going to want to get tickets for this season's upcoming AHL All-Star Classic, taking place February 2 and 3. That's a Sunday, Monday. This year's event, of course, taking place right here in our desert sands, right at Acrisure Arena. Get those individual tickets now. Again, those can be found, the AHL All-Star Classic tickets at cvfirebirds.com. Not alone on this episode of the Fire and Ice podcast. First-time guest, looking forward to chatting with new Firebird defenseman Max Lajoie. Max is going to be joining me here shortly. And of course, this entire shindig would not be possible without our presenting sponsor, that be Desert Willow Golf Resort, also located right here in sunny Palm Desert, California, home to the Mountain View and Fire Cliff courses, respectively. Also, the excellent, awesome, and on-site Palm Desert Golf Academy for all your swing, lesson, and tutelage needs. Be mindful, gentle golfers, that the Firecliff course, the aforementioned Firecliff course, currently undergoing overseed. That'll be taking place for about another month. So right now, when you tap on desertwillow.com, check out the tee times for the Mountain View course, and again, see what's happening at the Palm Desert Golf Academy. All right, dudes, let's segue to this episode's Firebirds Freeze Frame segment, and much to cover, much to discuss. A whole heap of positivity for our now 8-5 Coachella Valley Firebirds, a 5-game win streak and a surge into third place in the Pacific Division. And yeah, the boys have been gone a lot, winning a lot of these games on the road. Won't have to go through that part of the schedule too much longer. I mean, today we've had just 4 home games. That is tied for the fewest in the entire American Hockey League. But fear not, upcoming. Check that calendar, check the schedule, check it out on cvfirebirds.com. In the next 70 calendar days, Birds are going to be playing 19 home games at Acrisure Arena. That stretch of the schedule begins this Wednesday, November 20th, at home, 7 p.m. puck drop versus the Colorado Eagles. That is Hockey Fights Cancer Night, and at the same time, also $5 beer night, worthy of mention. Also at the same time, additionally worthy of mention, is that I'll be giving away via the Twitter routes, that's at Judd Spicer, 6 tickets for that game, 3 pairs of 2, if my Minnesota math is correct, and per the last time I gave these away, these are some high-quality tickets. Of course, not a bad seat at Acrisure Arena, but I can assure you that these 6 tickets, these 3 pairs, all good viewing of that home ice. Again, check it out via the Twitter routes at Judd Spicer. This Friday, November 22nd, Birds also at home. Going to be hosting San Diego, that too, a 7 p.m. puck drop. Quick road trip yonder Tucson, different desert, other desert, next Tuesday, the 26th of November, and a back-to-back next Wednesday, November 27th. That is at the Tucson Roadrunners, that pair of games, both 5:30 Pacific starts. Birds then come back, round out, and finish the month of November. That's Saturday, November 30th, 6 p.m. puck drop versus the Texas Stars. And yeah, sure, we're going to see some old friends suiting up in those Stars sweaters. Cameron Hughes, Cole Lind, they're playing for Texas. You can catch them. And moreover, our own Coachella Valley Firebirds playing the Texas Stars. That's Saturday, November 30th. Some statistics to share with you through these 13 games, first 13 games of the season. Ryan Winterton, he is your leading scorer to date, 11 points, pairing a team-high 5 goals with a team-high tied per the latter, 6 assists. Ryan Winterton, 11 points. With 9 points apiece, a couple of rookies. The aforementioned Edward Chalet, 3 goals and 6 assists, also with 9 points, also with 3 goals and 6 assists. The most recent guest on this podcast, Birds rookie Jagger Furcus. Right behind those boys with 8 points apiece, Cale Fleury, although he's done his damage in just 9 games thus far. Ben Myers recently got called up to the big club. He is now in Seattle. He has 8 points. And this episode's guest with 8 points thus far into the year, defenseman Max Lajoie. Segueing to the goalies, super interesting here. Ales Stejka, also a recent guest on this program. Ales 3-5 with a 3.33. A lot of threes. 3.33 goals against thus far into the season. Save percentage of .893. And that transitions to rookie netminder 20-year-old Nikkei Coco. Nikkei started 5 games, and he's won all of them. 5-0 on this season for young Nikkei, 2.61 goals against, a mirrored save percentage with his teammate Ales Stejka, that's 0.893. Those 5 wins for Nikkei need be mentioned, 8th in the entire American Hockey League. Those 5 wins also tied for the most netminder wins among rookies in the AHL. You want to see Nikkei? Well, you haven't done so live yet because all 5 of those games have taken place on the road away from Acrisure. A lot of hockey to be played, friends. I trust we'll be seeing this rookie stand out in short time. All right, Firebirds flock, all that offered, all that prefaced. Let's get to this episode's visit with defenseman Max Lajoie. All right, Firebirds flock. As prefaced, I guest on this episode of the Fire and Ice podcast, presented by Desert Willow Golf Resort. He's a 27-year-old defenseman, a native of Quebec City, Quebec. Freshly minted 27 at that. We're going to have to ask soon about his birthday. The 133rd overall pick of the 2016 draft. Made his pro debut at 19 years old, by the way. Subsequently has played 79 games in the National Hockey League. That's regular season and playoffs, combined with 242 games in the American Hockey League. 2022 Calder Cup champion with Chicago Wolves, and the year ensuing an AHL All-Star in 2023, making his debut on the Fire and Ice podcast in his first season with the Firebirds. We welcome Max Lajoie to the program. Hello, Max.
Hey, how's it going?
Did all that sound just about right?
Sounds great.
Well, thank you, man. And pleased to have you on the program. Pleased to have you in the desert. 13 games in. The Birds are 8-5. How would you describe we're still in the early stages of the season, so I think it's safe to say start. But how would you describe the start to the Firebird season thus far?
Yeah, I mean, definitely early. Obviously, at the start, we still trying to figure some things out, kind of get some lines together, deep pairings, all that stuff. But no, I think obviously in the last 5 games, we've been really good. And I mean, we're buying into the system. The young guys are kind of getting used to the league a little bit. So yeah, no, it's been great so far.
And I kind of buried a portion of the lead, as you just referenced on our behalf. 5-game win streak for the Birds, a surge into 3rd place in the Pacific Division. You mentioned some things have come together, some things that you've noticed in this 5-game win streak. Can you specify a couple of those things that you've really seen improve for the Birds?
Yeah, I think we're buying into the system that, Seattle plays. A lot of guys used to be, if, for example, our D zone coverage used to be a lot of guys played man on man. And now it's kind of I wouldn't say a complete zone defense, but there's, some switches happening. So guys, are getting used to that weren't here, the past couple of years. So just small things like that I think our group has learned to get better at. And that's, kind of helping our success right now.
You mentioned the younger guys and getting used to this league and making their professional debuts. We got a lot of younger fellas. For you, is it a transition, a veteran of the American Hockey League, not to mention the NHL? Is it some new things for you to learn, or based on your years in professional hockey, is it just make it easier by virtue of that to adjust to a different system?
Yeah, obviously I'm still learning, but at the same time, being in this league for, those 7-8 years now, it's at a point where I can, be one of those veteran guys and help those young guys out. My last year in Chicago, I was, the captain that year with a really young team as well. So that, made me learn a lot. So that helps coming into a place like this where we do have a lot of young guys, and it's nice having, more than a couple of veteran guys on our team. So it's been good with that.
Referencing your time in the AHL, Max, I mean, you've been on some really good teams, reference the Calder Cup winners. You've been on teams that weren't quite as hot, You've kind of seen it all in your experience. What do you make of this team? Again, we know it's early, but got a lot of young talent, a lot of proven veterans. What do you make of this team in contrast or comparison, perhaps, to what you've experienced in the AHL?
Well, like you said, it's very early in the season. Obviously, we've had a good stretch right now, but I'm really excited about this team. Like you said, we have a lot of skill, and we have a lot of guys that that work hard, and it's kind of a nice mix of the young guys and the veteran guys. So no, I'm very excited for this year, and I think we can we've been showing in the past games that we can play with any team. So I'm really excited for this year.
The young guys, are they asking you questions in particular? Have you been approached a lot with queries from the younger players?
A little bit. I mean, we do have a lot of veteran guys also, so that's always nice. But I'm playing with Nelson, so it's been good to kind of show him some stuff. Talk a lot with him during the games and practices and stuff like that. So it's always nice to help guys out like that.
Yeah. Head coach Derek Laxdal, we are all still getting to know him. By all accounts, a great guy. By all accounts, a very established coach in many different leagues. Again, as someone that has played for a number of different head coaches in your career, what do you make of Derek Laxdal? What kind of guy is he? What kind of coach is he? His personality and so forth.
Yeah, I like him a lot. He's all about family, which is a big thing. So he wants us, all to be together. We've had a lot of time spent as a team. We just had that long road trip for 9 days there, which was nice. So yeah, and we even went to his house at the beginning of the season. So no, he's been great. He keeps it light, keeps it fun, but at the same time, he expects a lot from us, and that's kind of that respect that we have for him. So it's been great so far.
Yeah. Referenced younger players and previously acknowledged that you made your professional debut back when you were with Belleville at tender 19 years old, Max. I think you may have set an organizational record or a franchise record for the youngest person to make their pro debut for that team at that time. Going back to 2017 and 2018, or at least comparing that to the Max Lajoie we see now, how have you changed as a player since you were 19 years old and to now a 27-year-old pro?
I mean, I've definitely learned that everyone is very good at hockey in this league. And I mean, defensively, I had to be much better than obviously when I came in, especially when I came in from junior. I was getting, scratched, just like you kind of go through the process of, learning and playing at that level. But I think I've kind of learned my game a little bit more and taking pride in how good I am defensively and stuff like that. So it's from junior to pro, and I think these guys are on our team. The young guys are learning pretty quickly.
Yeah, if you could take one or perhaps two things that you've learned in these years as a professional and pass it along, a key lesson or two for life in professional hockey, pass it along to these 19 and 20-year-old kids on the Firebirds, what might those one or two things be?
I'd say number one would probably take care of your body. I would say my food habits when I was younger weren't the greatest. So that's definitely something I've changed. And then probably just enjoy it. I mean, it goes by so quick. I mean, thinking now I'm already 27, 7 years in, it's kind of crazy to think about. So yeah, just enjoy the time pro. It's a fun time with all your teammates and experiencing, this kind of lifestyle. So just have fun with it.
Yeah. We go back to one team in particular, the 2022 Chicago Wolves. Going back through that season a little bit, that was a dominant hockey team, was it not, Max?
It was. We had a lot of veteran guys. We had a lot of guys with, AHL experience, NHL experience. Obviously, you guys know Podorowski very well. He had a pretty amazing year that year. We had, Stefan Nason, Josh Levo, Jalen Chatfield, I mean, Coach Chetkov and Alex Line were our goalies. We had a great team, and we really thought we were going to win from the beginning of the season. So that was obviously a really fun year.
Yeah, you referenced, of course, Andrew Podorowski. I asked a question about him momentarily. I believe he crested the 100-point mark in that season. Your team won 50 games and then maybe only lost like 3, 4, 5 games, I think it was, in the Calder Cup playoffs. So you kind of steamrolled your way to that title. Best team that you've ever been on in pro hockey, that team?
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. What were some things that you take from that season, you take from that championship, and take from that Calder Cup that you hold close? And I ask, of course, because we've reached for the ring, as you well know, as you've seen the banners in Acrisure Arena. We've got the 2 appearances in the Calder Cup finals. We've come close. We haven't got it yet, but tempt us a little bit, show us that carrot a little bit about what it's going to be like when we finally do capture that crown.
It's a great moment. We were just so close as a team. All the guys came together. There was no clicks. There was nothing like that. But yeah, winning it, we were on the road when we won it, but just the support from the fans in Chicago, and we had our rally and stuff like that. And a bunch of people came down to Springfield to see us win it. It's a great feeling. So I'm hoping to do the same thing this year.
Yeah, you mentioned clicks. It's a question that I've asked a few players in the past. Never said that's really occurred in the Firebirds locker room, but it is something that is real, not just in hockey, but in pro sports, is it not?
Yes, for sure. I mean, I wouldn't say obviously there's always clicks, but not in a bad way. Obviously the young guys, they're living the same lifestyle, a couple of them are single, that kind of things, where they don't have family and, significant others or children and stuff like that. So obviously they hang out a bit more together. But when it comes at the end of the day, like, we all hang out together, we all do things together. And, for dinners on the road or stuff like that, there's always guys hanging out with everyone. So we have a really good group, like we said before, like mix of young guys and veterans. So that's been really, really nice this year.
You referenced our old friend, and I very much assume your current friend, Potsy, Andrew Podorowski. And look, Max, I always find it wise or wiser, perhaps, to talk about who is here rather than who isn't here. But let's be honest, he was an extremely popular player. He's a great personality, super funny guy. We wish him well. He is no longer flying with the birds, but rather swimming with the fish. I probably could put that in a more gentle way. We don't need the Godfather Luca Brasi reference or anything, but he's now with San Jose. But you referenced Potsy in a press conference. It might have been after the first game, and it kind of sounded like you spoke with him. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounded like you kind of vetted what life in hockey might be like here in the desert before you actually came to the Kraken and the Firebirds organization ultimately.
Yeah, I definitely still talk to him, obviously after games and stuff. And this summer before I signed with Seattle, I definitely asked him some questions about, how it is in Palm Springs, how it is with the coaching staff, all that kind of stuff. And he had obviously nothing but positive things to say. He loved it here, obviously. So I was very excited to sign here, and he's been a good friend, and that's kind of one of the things you get from winning a championship with the team. You have those friendships kind of forever. So it's always nice.
What did he tell you about life off the ice in the Coachella Valley?
He said, I got to work on my golf game.
Well, he had a known reputation for playing avidly and being quite good. Have you taken his advice and shaped up your game a bit?
I have. My handicap's actually gotten lower, so I'm happy with that so far.
Okay. You got to share a number with us, Max. What's it at?
It's at an 8 right now, so I'm still working to get it to a 5, hopefully by the end of the year.
Okay. Well, you're going to have to give me a stroke aside then when we decide to ultimately tee it up. Friends, you're tuning in rather to the Fire and Ice podcast presented by Desert Willow Golf Resort. My guest is Firebirds defenseman Max Lajoie. Max referenced had the birthday a couple weeks ago, earlier this month. I believe it was November 5. That was a game night um, at Colorado, was it not, during your
Yeah,
birthday?
yeah, yeah. It was. It wasn't the greatest game. We didn't play too well that night, but obviously the guys, made it good. Just even Goose brought me some desserts that his mom had made, so that was nice of him. But yeah, no, obviously I celebrated a little bit with my girlfriend when I got back home. So that was always nice.
When you say Goose, Gustav Olofsson.
Yes, Gustav
Yes.
Olofsson.
Now he's Swedish. Were these Swedish, like Swedish fish?
No, she actually made some brownies for us, so those were really good.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm tempted to go further with the brownies, but this is a family show, so I'm just gonna I'm just gonna leave it at that, man. A question that I always try to find I feel like I'm walking on eggshells with this next question, Max, but I don't intend to and I don't want to, but I think some players in a not dissimilar position to your own, not dissimilar playing experience to your own, have taken some exception. As a matter of fact, I know that a few have, but I've tried to ask in a very nice way, like, where are you at with your career? As referenced earlier, the 79 NHL games, 342 American Hockey League games, but I trust, like these other players I've spoken with and asked the same question, that you still want to play in the NHL. You're still totally motivated and driven to play at the top level, are you not?
Oh yeah. I mean, everything I do is still to, reach the NHL again, and play more games every year in the NHL. There's obviously a lot that goes into even, signing it with certain teams, opportunity and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, every day is another day to work on my game and practice and show what I can do. So whatever I can do to help the team obviously helps me personally. So it's something that I think about all the time.
How do you balance that? How do you not get frustrated or distracted, believing in yourself that that's where you should be playing?
Well, I mean, everyone's, I guess, career or journey is different, obviously. Obviously, I played a lot of games when I was younger in the NHL. But at the same time, it's a lot of opportunity and luck. I mean, I've been in the league long enough to kind of know that now. So when you do get that opportunity, you just really want to show what you can do. And what you can do is be consistent in the AHL, and hopefully, you get that call up, and then you can just play your game and hopefully get more games.
We've seen it already this season a couple times, whether it be young guys that get that call up, or whether it be veterans. John Hayden was up for a little bit. We just saw Ben Myers get his call up. Do you always kind of keep that in mind? Is that always kind of dangled in front of you that, hey, man, it's just one day, it's just one play, it's just one thing away, and the next thing you know, you're up in Seattle playing in the NHL.
I mean, I wouldn't say I think about it, like that. I think you focus on just kind of being in the moment and playing here, kind of just playing good here. And if it happens, then you're happy about it. But I don't think I would go into, every day just being like, oh, I hope it's today kind of thing. You kind of just be consistent in your game here and do the best you can here and hope for that, that call up if it happens.
In a way, is it potentially counterproductive to think the way that I just described?
Yeah, I would say maybe it puts a little bit of stress if you're always thinking about it. Obviously, there's the only thing you can do about it is to play good. There's nothing else really to do. So you just got to focus on that.
A couple more for you today. Max Lajoie, our guest on the Fire and Ice podcast. Yeah, a couple more for you, Max. Just 4 home games today. We know the AHL schedule, and I've ranted on this program that can be aberrant and it can be weird and it can be strange. But dude, we're on the TikTok to Thanksgiving, or at least our American Thanksgiving. And yeah, just 4 home games to date, tied for the lowest in the league. I know it all works out in the wash. I'm going to make up with a slew of home games in months ahead. But do you feel like it was been kind of a strange scheduling start to the year?
Yeah, I mean, it's always, I feel like the start of the year, a lot of the teams I've been on has been a strange schedule. Only having, I think we had 5 games in October. It's not a lot of hockey. It's tough to kind of get into a routine. But the long road trip, I don't mind it, to be honest, at the start of the year, because you kind of get to hang out with the guys and the team kind of gets closer, and which is always nice. But it's definitely weird that we've only played four games at home. You said, yeah.
Yeah.
So, but it's all right. That just means second half of the year we'll have more home games, which is it's always nice to be home. So
Gonna make up with three home games finishing out the month of November, and then a big 9. That is the biggest home month for the Birds. 9 in December, and then 7 in January. So as I said, we got a slew coming up. Do you feel like when you have these lengthy home stretches that it does help to get a little bit more in a groove with where you are, the home ice, where you're living, the fans, things like that?
yeah, like I said, it's just nice to get in that routine. When you play only once a week, it's kind of tough to practice every single day, kind of thing, and um, it's nice to have games every other day or something like that. It's just how we play, how everyone's played in their whole career, right? So in junior and stuff like that, you play a bunch of games, and at the pro level, you play a bunch of games. So it's nice to finally get back to that.
This home schedule going to kind of culminate mid-season of sorts. February 2 and 3 max. Acrisure Arena, of course, the host of the annual AHL All-Star Classic taking place here this year. As referenced, you were an All-Star a couple years ago, 2023, and that game was played pretty close to home for you, man. That was in Quebec, was it not?
Yeah, it was in Laval, so it was a couple hours away from Quebec City.
What was that experience like for you, man?
It was awesome. Obviously, it was a great honor to be a part of that and get selected for that. I've never really had that in my career before, so it was pretty cool. Obviously, being in Montreal was really fun, and it's obviously something I'm never going to forget.
Did you have a lot of friends and family that made that 2-hour drive to come watch you play across those couple days?
I actually did not have that many people. I just had my girlfriend there, just because it's a little bit of a drive for my grandparents to come. And then obviously it's a very long way for my parents to fly to. So she was the only one there. But no, we made the most of it, and we stayed in Montreal for the couple days after the game and the skills, just to kind of see the city and stuff like that. She had never been, so that was fun for us.
Yeah, what can we anticipate here? It's going to probably be a bit of a different show. It's a different venue, of course, but get us excited. I think there's a lot of fans that aren't exactly sure what to expect. I mean, you referenced we've got the Skills Day, and then the All Star. It's not a game, kind of, but more like a little mini tournament. But all told, it's a cool couple of days, is it not? It's a pretty cool event.
Yeah, it's really cool. I mean, the skills is really fun. They kind of take out, well, in Laval they took off the glass from the boards, so the fans were right there. You could high five all the kids and stuff. So that was really fun. And then the game, yeah, it's like a round robin 3-on-3 tournament. So that was really fun. You have, like, I think it was like 2 periods or 3 periods of like 5 minutes or something like that. So that's really fun to play, with guys that you play against, and just kind of 3-on-3 is always fun. So yeah, I think fans will really love it.
You're paired with players who play in your division. Is that accurate?
Yeah, yeah, you do.
Okay. And did you also take part in any facet of the skills competition, or was it the games?
I did. I can't remember. I did the three. There was like a 3-on-0 breakaway challenge that you do, the accuracy shooting, and then I did. I think there was another one. It was like a goal scoring one against the goalie. You were like 1-on-1 against a guy, kind of thing. So yeah, no, there's a lot of events, obviously. So yeah, it'll be a good time. I'm sure they'll probably throw in some golf element, I feel like, this year.
Into the skills competition.
Maybe.
Like
we'll see.
oh,
I think that'd be pretty cool.
something like an 80-foot putt or something to that effect.
Yeah, something like that. I think that'd be pretty cool.
Okay. Is it a big deal? Big deal in the American Hockey League to make the All-Star team? We see, the All-Star games and things, and a lot of the top pro leagues have kind of monkeyed with formats and stuff over the years, and some of them, to be honest, have lost a little bit of luster because they're not all that competitive, i.e., the NBA. But I think for the players, in many respects, it gets lost on us that to be named to the team, it actually is a big deal. It is a big career achievement. Do you find that to be the case in the American Hockey League for yourself and for your playing colleagues?
Yeah, I think I mean, I took it as a big deal. It's something that I'm really proud of. Obviously, like you said, there's a lot of different all-star events in all major sports now that are kind of different. But I think it's tough to, televise that. If you're there live, obviously it's more fun. But I think they're doing a pretty good job with it. I think like I said, it's a little tough to watch on TV sometimes, some of the events, but no, it's a good time, and it's an honor, obviously, to be selected for that.
Max Lajoie, pleasure having you on the Fire and Ice podcast, man. Really thrilled to have you as part of the Birds this season. Keep on winning games. Get number 6 in a row this Wednesday night, and glad to have you on our blue line, sir.
Well, thank you very much. I'm very happy to be here.
All right, Firebirds friends. It's going to wrap it up for this episode and edition of the Fire and Ice podcast presented by Desert Willow Golf Resort. So appreciative of your continued time, interest, your ears, your ongoing support of this endeavor. Equal appreciation goes to this episode's guest, Birds defenseman Max Lajoie, and of course, added appreciation and gratitude goes to the presenting sponsor of this program, Desert Willow Golf Resort. Get those tee times online at desertwillow.com. Right now, the Firecliff course down for overseed, going to be open in about a month. So make those tee times at the Mountain View course, and when you're poking around desertwillow.com, also check out what's happening at the excellent and on-site Palm Desert Golf Academy. Brief revisit of the schedule. Birds been away a lot. They're flocking back to the Acrisure Arena Nest this Wednesday, November 20th, at home against the Colorado Eagles. Don't forget that is Hockey Fights Cancer Night, also $5 beer night. Also, yours truly going to be giving away 6 tickets. That is 3 pairs of 2 via the Twitter routes. That's at Judd Spicer. 6 tickets to be given away for this Wednesday, November 20th. Birds then a day off. Back at home this Friday, November 22nd at Acrisure Arena, 7 p.m. puck drop versus the San Diego Gulls. Thanks again, everybody, for tuning in. Boys are hot. 5-game win streak. Let's keep it going with the double dip on the home ice this week. Until then, and always remember, one valley, one team, rising together.